Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and in this video, it is me playing Mortal Kombat 1 online again. In this video, I am looking for another Reptile Brutality. The brutality I am looking for today is Crocodile Done Right, and that is the brutality version of Reptile's special move, Death Roll. Now, you can combo into this brutality, but the Death Roll move, it does pretty good damage, so you can easily just use it to end a round by itself and then do the brutality. And Death Roll happens to be a special move for Reptile that you can meter burn and get armor on the attack. And that kind of helps to guarantee that you're going to land it in a lot of situations. Like for instance, if you get knocked down but your opponent has very little life, you can always just do that as a wake-up attack, use your meter burn, get the armor, take a hit, land the attack, and then get the brutality. Just make sure you hit the up button 3 times whenever you land the attack or the brutality is not going to happen. And I thought this was pretty cool. It was somebody playing as Rain. Now I think this is the only person I have ever fought online while playing Mortal Kombat 1 who was using Rain as their character. Now this video is pretty old and I had this match, I believe before the day 1 patch. So this was very early Mortal Kombat 1, but even so, I don't think I have fought against anyone else using Rain even to this day. Now watch me say this and then I get online tonight and start playing a little bit for fun and then like 8 people are using Rain, but as of right now, whenever this video is released, this is the only guy. Also, I'm digging the purple and gold outfit, looks good on Rain. So considering I have never fought against Rain before this video, whenever I was recording it, I did not know the Rain matchup whatsoever. I did not know what he could do in any way. Honestly, I still kind of don't, but at least I know a couple of things now. I did not realize this whenever I was playing in real time, but that was a flawless victory. I did not take a single hit. That's kind of cool. That might be the very first one of those flawless victory rounds that I've gotten in Mortal Kombat 1 online. And I didn't even realize it. Now I think that I've gotten one since then, but it is kind of funny that I got this flawless victory and had no idea, and it might have been the very first one that I got in this game. Now if you watched the video before this, you will definitely see a difference in how I am playing, and that is because that Sub-Zero related video prior to this one that I released last week, well that was much more recent gameplay. So there are going to be times in this video when I am not ending my combos as well as I could have, or not as well as I did in that video. And because of that, I am just costing myself a bunch of damage as a result. Just figured I'd point that out though, just in case anyone watched that video prior to this one and wondered why I was changing my style of play so much. In this video, again it was really early on, pre-day 1 patch, I was definitely still learning the basics.
The show is over. Brutality. Reptile wins.
Well, alright, that was not intentional. I was not shooting for the classic brutality. That still has to get its very own video, but yeah, I just got it. That was just a coincidence that I happened to get it there though. I was honestly just going for an uppercut to win the match, then the next thing you know, he is decapitated. Thinking back on it whenever I was recording the video, I remember that caught me off guard, and I was like, oh yeah, right, that can happen. Huh. Neat. One thing I learned specifically very early on in this match is to look out for that little water vortex that he does on the ground. Now that little watery vortex, it will flush you into the ground, throw you back out, and leave you open for a combo. So learning that was one of his best ways to get you open for a big combo, I tried to avoid it as much as possible. It looks like it can be used to get some pretty big damage from Rain. So that kind of made me nervous and kept me looking for that attack the entire time going forward. Now you'll see in this very next round that I end up jumping around a lot. That is because of that flushing attack. I did not want to be on the ground any longer than I needed to be because I was not sure if that attack was a low attack or a mid attack. So I felt like the best course of action was just to try and avoid it and get in close. And jumping seemed like the best idea. Now I could have just used some trial and error to figure out whether or not it was a low or a mid and then be able to block it pretty consistently, but I did not want to leave myself open for another big combo. So instead I was just jumping around like crazy.
Reptile wins.
Alright, match number 3. Let's see if we can get a clean sweep of 3-0. And I'll admit, from a recording standpoint, I did not go into this fight with a very specific brutality in mind. I did not know which one I wanted to shoot for if I ended up winning the match. So while I was fighting, it really wasn't on my mind until this third and final match. And while it was happening, I was still kind of considering which one I wanted to go for. And considering how frequently I was able to land the death roll on Rain, it seemed like that would be the best option. And the reason I ended up deciding on the death roll was not only just because I was landing it frequently, but it seemed like Rain was trying to get a little bit of a distance on me so we could do some more work. So I thought to myself, if I end up getting him within kill range and he ends up trying to get away from me at mid-screen, I could probably end up doing the death roll and then landing the brutality. And honestly, if I spammed it enough times, regardless of how close he was to me, I was bound to land one eventually. That was the thought process for why I wanted to win the match that way. Well, it may not be the very best representation of how to play Rain. I mean, consider that this was around the time the game was very new, and people were still very much learning the characters of the game at the time. I recall the one thing that I took away from this Rain fight was that you do not want to let Rain get you at a distance or around the middle of the screen. You want to keep him as close as possible, and it seems like his options are a lot more limited if you do that. Now, considering that I have never played Rain myself, I could be completely wrong about that. For all I know, Rain has some pretty amazing tools that will keep you at a disadvantage if you're up close, and I just have no way of knowing it. But looking back on this footage, it seems like mid-screen and full screen are where he shines, so keeping him close seemed like the best tactic for me. And you can see I'm still just jumping around like a madman, hoping he does not flush me into the ground again. I'm just going to try repeatedly doing the death roll until he eventually runs out of health.
Brutality. Reptile wins.
Alright, that was it. That was the Crocodile Done Right Brutality. Despite winning 3-0, I did appreciate seeing someone trying out Rain. I mentioned in the previous video that there are just a lot of people playing Smoke and Sub-Zero online right now, so getting to look back on this video and see people playing some of the more rarely used characters, like Rain, well, that made me happy. Anyway, that is going to be it for me today. This is going to be a short episode since, well, there was not a lot of defense throughout those matches. Still, this is the latest installment of Fatal Friday. We got to check out the Crocodile Done Right Brutality for Reptile. Again, my name is Thor. Again, this is Thor's Entertainment. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Brutality. Reptile wins.